So when you think of high-speed rail or bullet trains, what countries come to mind? Japan, China, or what about in Europe? Would you think of Serbia? Probably not. But actually, for the past 2 years already, Serbia has had a high-speed rail connection linking its two largest cities of Belgrade and Novi Sad. And this is actually thanks to China. It's thanks to the Belt and Road Initiative, and you could say this particular line is only the beginning of a massive overhaul of what rail transport is going to look like in the future in this part of Europe. So anyway, here's what we're going to do. We're here at Belgrade Central Station, which has been perpetually under reconstruction. I'll tell you about that in a minute. And we're going to jump on board the Soko Express. It's a train that'll take us up to Novi Sad in just about 30 minutes, down from an hour and a half back in the day. So yeah, super excited. Let's go into the station and head up to Novi Sad. Well, yeah, you can just see the sheer amount of construction over here, and the terminal building looks quite nice, but actually they already started construction on this station in 1977. Now, in 1979, socialist Yugoslavia was already plagued with a lot of economic problems, and they paused construction. And then, as you can imagine, the fragmentation of Yugoslavia just makes things even worse. At one point in the 1990s, Serbian leader Slobodan Milosevic, he wanted to kickstart it again, but they had to come to another abrupt halt. And now it looks like it's finally in the process of potentially being finished in the next few years. All right, let's head into the station, see if we can get some tickets. Wow. Well, first impressions. This is a nice station. You can clearly tell that it is brand new. All right, Novi Sad. Okay, and we should change the time because we want to get the train at 1 o'clock. Now, not every train to Novi Sad is one of the Soko Express trains, only probably every third train, I believe. So let's see if we can modify this again. Okay, here we go. So we want the 1 o'clock takes 36 minutes. The slower trains take 57 minutes to go. And that will be our ticket, our ride over to Novi Sad today. Well, just like that, ticket in hand, and yeah, we're scheduled to leave at 1 o'clock, so we still have about 40 minutes, but quick and easy, and 603 Serbian dinar, so that's probably just over 5 euros for an express train, a bullet train, up to the second largest city in the country. God damn. Well, we still have a little bit of time before our train up to Novi Sad. Now that we have our ticket, I figured I would come back out here and maybe tell you a little bit more about this project. So yeah, as I was saying, this is all thanks to the Belt and Road Initiative of China. You could say it's one of the most important projects they have on the European continent at the moment. And it's actually a collaboration with the CEE, the Central and Eastern European countries. Now, Serbia is one of those countries, a very key economic and political ally of China's, but also countries like Greece, North Macedonia, and Hungary. And that's pretty important because this is, like I said, just the beginning. So basically, this opened 2 years ago, the Belgrade-Novi Sad line. Eventually, however, it's going to link Belgrade to Budapest. Now, that's going to get the journey time from Belgrade to Budapest down to about 3.5 hours from about 8 hours. That's pretty monumental. However, even that is just the beginning of a greater expansion of the line. Eventually, you're going to be able to get from Budapest down to Belgrade, down to Skopje, North Macedonia, and eventually to Athens, ending at the port of Piraeus. So super, super interesting. And actually, can you imagine how this is going to basically change the face of, train travel and also economics in this particular part of the world? In terms of the Belgrade-Novi Sad line, basically it has 75 kilometers of track that have now been updated, modified to basically be able to handle trains going up to 200 kilometers an hour. So for commuters, it's actually super important because a lot of people were commuting back and forth historically from Belgrade to Novi Sad or vice versa for work, and now that journey is so much easier. So anyway, it's going to be an incredible day, and probably will breeze by very quickly because of how quick the journey actually is going to be. Well, we're going to be on track 7 today, and our train is actually arriving at 12:36 in just a few minutes. So we'll already go down and check it out, so we'll be very early for our travels today. And here it comes, the Soko Express. Man. Man, so excited for this journey. 36 minutes to Novi Sad. It's going to be amazing. And yeah, the trains themselves, by the way, these are not Chinese built. You might be familiar with them if you've traveled around Europe. They're actually Stadler trains manufactured in Switzerland. All right. Wow. All right, so we're a bit early, which is good because nobody's on here yet. But this is second class. I was gonna say, you know, you could get a first class ticket as well, but I figured, even though, as you know, I have bourgeois tendencies, just joking about that, of course, but I figured there was no need in a 36-minute journey getting a first class ticket. And this, to be honest, looks to me like first class. Let me make sure I'm in the right place, actually. Yeah, apparently I'm in the right spot. Second class, looking very much like a first class. Oh man, it's kind of cool. It's like being up on Tito's Blue Train again. I got the whole thing to myself. And yeah, almost as nice as Tito's Blue Train, to be honest. This is kind of sexy. Well, this is still second class. And there is, what is this, a coffee machine? I'm not sure that it works. But there's also a vending machine up on here. So for a 36-minute journey, if you're absolutely parched or you decide you need to buy yourself a ham and cheese sandwich or a roll or a Kinder Bueno, then you can absolutely do that. What a train. Well, since we have time, let's go check out some of the other compartments. I think they're all pretty much going to be the same. First class has to be down somewhere. You know, I love actually sitting on the top, so I think this is going to be the move for today. Yeah, baby. The armrest. Got yourself a charging point. Yeah, check this out. I mean, there's a reading lamp. And here we go.
Sedite ili tu, odmah ovde, ili idete na kola broj 3, ali ne možete da stojite.
Alright, so it turns out I actually was sitting in first class. I had no idea. That being said, they did come around to offer tea, coffee, food at one point, and I was thinking, for second class, that is extraordinarily incredible. So anyway, the woman who was checking tickets just very politely nudged me out of there. And then actually she was trying to find me a seat. And I was like, I don't really need a seat. I'm trying to film this journey. So out here basically making the most of the view. Well, looks like we are actually going to be delayed by 7 minutes. I did think it took a while to peel out of Belgrade Central. And we are going quick. Well, as we make our way at 200 kilometers an hour, ever closer to Novi Sad, a city which I don't think we're going to spend too much time in, because it's more about the journey, to be honest. But yeah, it just has me reflecting on the fact that Serbia and China have this very close-knit relationship. In fact, if you're a citizen of either country, you don't need a visa to visit the other, which is quite remarkable, actually, for especially a European country and its relationship to China. But yeah, it's phenomenal. It actually underscores, I think, also continuity, because of course Yugoslavia under Tito was a sort of pioneer, founder of the non-aligned movement, and China was seen as a very, you know, emergent, powerful, dynamic, revolutionary third world country during that time. And even though Yugoslavia, of course, is no more, that relationship between Serbia as a successor state, you know, still continues to basically go along that road, that belt and road, if you will. And here we are, Novi Sad, with a delay of about 7 minutes. Not exactly what I was expecting for this video, but as I said on board, incredibly, incredibly comfortable, even though I got booted out of first class. Alright, well, let's head down into Novi Sad station and see if we can find any socialist relics, murals, things like that. Well, it looks like the iconic terminal hall here in Novi Sad is under reconstruction, so we'll have to come back to check that out. I think there's a Marxist mural in here somewhere. Well, I would be completely remiss if I didn't put this in my video, a socialist locomotive. Actually, it says it was constructed in 1925, but that red star is very, very evidently from the Tito period, isn't it? Well, now that we've made it successfully to Novi Sad and we've seen ourselves a socialist locomotive, I think we'll leave it here for today. But I do need to let you in on a little secret. Actually, this is my second time here in the last 24 hours. I tried to film this video yesterday, and I actually did, but I sort of fucked up. Remember how I was saying there's two trains that you can take, a fast train and a slower train? Well, I ended up jumping accidentally on one of the slow trains, and as a consequence of that, I decided to still film regardless, of course, and then on the way back I intended to get on one of the Soko Express trains, but actually the one that I wanted to get was sold out. So that being said, I jumped back on the same train that I basically came in on, and I tried to basically salvage the video. And I filmed quite a lot, and I think you'll find it pretty interesting. What's really fascinating to me is, you know, that train is also incredibly comfortable. Now, being on the Soko Express today, I can definitely tell you I see why. If you go Soko, you probably don't go back. But yeah, anyway, I thought you would enjoy some scenes of what it's like to travel aboard a train that takes 57 minutes, not 36.